Hello everybody and welcome to Mount Pleasant Gaming. I'm Emperor Craig and I'm going to talk you through this game today. My last video was quite short, to be honest. This one is actually a lot longer. There was a lot more action in this one, even though there was quite a bit of action in the last one. It was quick action, to be honest. This one was a lot more tactical. As you can see, we landed at market. I'm not a big fan of landing at market, if I'm honest, because there's not too much loot there. Really, it's best off if like maybe 2 land at market and 1 go elsewhere. As you can see, we moved over to Skulltown, and right here is where my team gets attacked. I held off a bit and waited until they went in the building so I could get them from behind, just to get the advantage. But then obviously I got attacked from behind as well, which was unfortunate.
Oh, she got purple.
And as you can see, she had a purple armor and a peacekeeper, which took me out in 1 shot because I was already weak from her previous shots to me. And this is a bit hectic. My 2 teammates have gone down. It's actually only the 2nd match I played with them, so they're new people that I added so I could play together. I could hear them healing and resin, I think. So I need to heal as quick as possible. I'm using a flatline. I really like the flatline these days. So I held off on I blocked off the door so they couldn't get in while my team was healing up a little bit. And then what you saw was that I actually panicked and shot my teammate as well, which was ridiculous. It's just I thought the enemy ran past me. I don't know why. So, but we're doing quite well so far. Yeah, we had to run because the ring was coming. And as you can see on the left is Gibraltar ultimate coming down. Luckily it wasn't closer, otherwise I'd have had to run right through it, which would have sucked, to be honest. No, I decided to run through the building because I don't actually know where the enemies are, and I'm trying to use it for cover. And luckily it pays off because I see one of the enemies jumping over the wall. I've got them weak, so I decide I can follow because my shield was full. Finish them off as quickly as possible because you don't want to risk, in certain situations, you don't want to risk the enemy getting their teammate back up. It's sometimes much better just to finish them off as quickly as possible, especially when you've got the time. You know, if there was another enemy coming, I would have been screwed, to be honest. And now here's where I made a bit of a mistake. I thought there was only 1 enemy on the roof, and I went up the front. I actually climbed up where they were facing anyway. The best option for me then would have been to go around and up the stairs so that I could come from behind and I could actually judge the situation a lot better. But coming from the front, it was a lot easier for them to attack me and knock me down, which wasn't good. Luckily my teammates come to the rescue. It won't last long, no. We make the run inside, but unfortunately I get down as well. And there's a Watson trap, but my teammate uses these gas. No, he didn't actually. Sorry, you can use the caustic gas to break those traps though. But my other teammate shot the poles because you can actually shoot them to destroy them. This is a bit bad, really. We had to go through the Watson trap. We didn't have time with an enemy team right behind us. But luckily they didn't follow properly. I think one of my teammates actually might have gone on the roof, which was probably a bad idea because I think there might be 2 teams here now. It's pretty much all market for the time being. There were watching traps up there as well. My teammate told me about it. And he also actually told us that there was a Watson ultimate up there as well, which meant that we couldn't throw anything to destroy the traps. So for the time being we were stuck in market because we just don't know where the enemies really are. We don't know how many there are either, so we have to kind of wait a little bit. Luckily one of them comes in and I managed to get him down. I actually made the call out. I told my teammate that I broke the shield and how much health he had left. When you do that, it helps your team understand whether or not they can push or not. Because if he had full health still, then pushing would be a big no-no. But I hit him for 144, broke the shield, so pushing would have been a good idea. But my team didn't push. I don't think, because of course we're still alive here, which is why there's lots of gas. And we come out at the right time though, because the healing up. The caustic actually runs away, just like he's only just got up, so it's understandable why he runs away. But he's basically abandoned his teammate completely, which I always find funny. Like, I'm of the opinion that you should just die with your team. To be honest, like, chances if you don't get your teammate back up, there's a high chance that you're going to die anyway. There's not much you can do. Right here, I was looting and I got attacked, but I managed to do it because he was quite weak. I think he might have been the third member from the Lifeline and Caustic team. I think he was coming back to get his teammate, and he decided he'd rather die with the team than go on without them. But sometimes that's what you need to do. Unless you're an amazing player, it's very difficult for you to play the game solo. So sometimes you may as well just try and fight, because you might be surprised. You know, you might actually do well against the team. You know, they might be a bit weakened. So yeah, we're at a bit of a disadvantage at this point, because the high ground is the way of the ring. I messed this up. I put the Lifeline drone in a bad position. If the enemy was watching while my teammate needed to heal, then they could have sniped easily enough. But luckily, with the ring coming, the teams moved on and didn't fire on us anymore. So the high ground advantage wasn't really there for them anymore. Not in the way it was before. Before, they had a perfect sight at us. They could have shot us easy, but they moved on and ended up fighting other teams. So we actually decide to push up onto Watchtower, which in this situation was a good idea, I think. You know, you got to try and pick your landing spot as well, because it takes time to get your weapons out and stuff, and you need to prepare. Unfortunately, my one teammate goes down, and I picked this route because it's right behind where the enemy team is. You know, if I had gone straight to the left instead, the enemy would have seen me easily, but I chose the right hand side because the enemy was too focused on the middle part to see me coming. I switched shields real quick because my shields were weak, so you know, when you're in a situation like that, switching your shields out quick, even if it's to a weaker shield than you've got, if it's fully charged, it's much better. You know, a level 2 shield is better than a level 3 shield with nothing when the level 2 shield is full. So when you're in the middle of a fight, switching up is important. Here, I miss every shot. Look, I had terrible aim here, I don't know why. The Wraith was moving around quite a lot. That was just terrible. But luckily, they weren't that good, to be honest. I was able to use some movement. So a jumping and sliding is a good thing to use when enemies firing on you, especially if you're on a hill. Even though they had the high ground advantage, they focused too much on me, so my teammate was able to shoot them as well, and I was able to finish them off. Now this is where the game kind of changes a little bit, because there are only 4 squads left, including us. And I make a big mistake, I think, in a minute. But as you can see here, the enemy, they have the high ground there, stuff. Now this is where I make the mistake. I'll tell you why it's a mistake. Look, there's a Gibraltar running, and I actually stay to focus on shooting him. Now I shot him enough to kill him, but he killed me at the same time. What I should have done there was actually shot him and tried to run a bit at the same time, because if I weakened him enough, he would have died in the storm anyway. So now it's basically up to my teammate now, because the other teammate's gone down. He does manage to kill one,
Oh,
but he didn't realise that our teammate was down, so he didn't res her at all. Now, here I think he made a mistake. If it was me, if it were me rather, I would have climbed on top of the building to get the high ground advantage. Because as I said before, the high ground is very important in this situation. You needed more better cover and stuff. The high ground would have helped there because she had the high ground, she had the advantage. So this is the end of the game. As you can see, we've got 16 squad kills. I had 7 kills, he had 8. It was a big game. I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. So, bye.